Today, we're diving into the true story of one of history's most misunderstood figures, Xerxes the Great. Was he truly the arrogant, hot-headed tyrant depicted in Hollywood? Or was there far more to the man who led the largest army the ancient world had ever seen? Understanding Xerxes isn't just about ancient history. It's about leadership, ambition, and the clash of cultures that still echoes today. Stay until the very end, and you'll discover the surprising truths about his reign and how his story continues to shape our understanding of power. His name alone conjures images of an unstoppable force, a king who dared to challenge the nascent freedom of Greece. Yet, much of what we think we know about him comes from his enemies. What if the story is far more complex than a simple good versus evil narrative? What if the tyrant was a visionary, or perhaps just a man overwhelmed by monumental expectations? Join us as we peel back the layers of myth and propaganda, starting with the surprising circumstances of his rise to power. You won't want to miss what we uncover next. Imagine inheriting an empire stretching from India to Libya, an empire built by your legendary father Darius the Great. Xerxes faced immense pressure the moment he ascended the throne of Persia. He wasn't the eldest son, but his mother, Atossa, was the daughter of Cyrus the Great, giving him a powerful claim. His early reign wasn't about conquest, but about consolidating power and dealing with rebellions within his vast dominion. Egypt and Babylon, vital provinces, dared to defy Persian rule. He had to prove himself not just as a conqueror, but as an administrator capable of maintaining his father's colossal legacy. He spent years quelling these revolts, demonstrating a shrewd understanding of strategy and governance. But the shadow of Greece, a persistent thorn in the side of his father, loomed large. Darius had been thwarted at Marathon, a defeat that surely haunted Xerxes. It wasn't just about revenge, it was about asserting the undisputed might of the Persian Empire and securing its western flank. How did he prepare for such an unprecedented undertaking, and what did it mean for the world? When Xerxes finally turned his gaze west, he assembled an army so vast it defied imagination. Sources speak of millions, though modern historians estimate hundreds of thousands, still an unfathomable number for the ancient world. This wasn't just soldiers, it was engineers, cooks, servants, and even entertainers, a moving city of people. To cross the Hellespont, Xerxes commanded the construction of two massive pontoon bridges, an engineering marvel that linked Asia to Europe. This wasn't just a military move, it was a statement of power, demonstrating Persia's ability to bend nature to its will. And then there was the Athos Canal, dug through a peninsula to avoid a treacherous storm-prone cape, a testament to his foresight and determination. Think about the sheer logistics, feeding this many people, moving them across mountains and seas. It was a logistical puzzle of epic proportions, and Xerxes solved it. The Greeks, a collection of independent city-states, seemed utterly insignificant in comparison. How could they possibly hope to resist such an overwhelming force? Yet, as we'll see, the size of an army doesn't always guarantee victory, especially when facing an enemy fighting for their very way of life. The name Thermopylae conjures images of Spartan bravery, a mere 300 holding a narrow pass against an entire empire. From Xerxes' perspective, this was an infuriating delay, a mere minor obstacle magnified by stubborn resistance. He saw these few Greeks as an affront to his divine kingship and the immense power he commanded. The victory at Thermopylae was costly for Persia, a psychological blow despite its tactical success. But the true turning point came at sea, in the narrow straits of Salamis. Xerxes, watching from his golden throne on the shore, witnessed his mighty fleet, built with immense resources, shattered by the smaller, more agile Greek triremes. It was a crushing defeat, one that stripped him of his naval superiority and, crucially, his supply lines. His grand invasion plan began to unravel. With his navy gone, Xerxes made the fateful decision to return to Persia, leaving a significant portion of his army in Greece under his general Mardonius. The final land battle at Plataea sealed the fate of the Persian invasion, marking a decisive Greek victory. So, what became of the man who had set out to conquer the West, and how did his story end after such a monumental failure? After the Greek campaigns, Xerxes returned to a different kind of ambition: building. He was a significant patron of architecture, famously completing the magnificent city of Persepolis, a lasting testament to Persian power and artistry. This highlights a different side of Xerxes, not just the warrior king, but an administrator and cultural visionary. However, like many powerful rulers, his later years were marred by court intrigue and increasing paranoia. He faced assassinations and conspiracies, eventually falling victim to one himself. The grand protagonist of our story, the man who once commanded an empire, met a lonely and violent end within his own palace walls. In the West, Xerxes is often remembered only as the failed invader, a symbol of Eastern tyranny. But in Persia, his legacy is far more complex. He's seen as a builder, a consolidator of his father's empire, and a protector of Zoroastrianism. Understanding these dual perspectives helps us appreciate the nuances of history and how narratives are shaped by those who write them. His story teaches us about the fragility of even the greatest power, the importance of adaptable leadership, and how perception can drastically differ based on whose story is being told. Ultimately, what can we take away from the life of Xerxes the Great, and why does his saga continue to fascinate us millennia later? Xerxes the Great was not just a one-dimensional villain, but a complex ruler who inherited a colossal empire and faced immense pressures. He was a man of ambition, a brilliant engineer, and a powerful leader who, despite his colossal failures in Greece, left an indelible mark on history. His story reminds us that even the most powerful figures are subject to the tides of fortune and the will of their adversaries. We've journeyed beyond the myth, uncovering the true story of a king whose vision stretched across continents and whose failures taught the world valuable lessons about limits and overreach. If you found this deep dive into ancient history fascinating and want more content like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. What's your biggest takeaway from Xerxes' story? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I love reading your insights. And if you know someone who loves history or might be interested in a different perspective on this iconic figure, please share this video with them. Your engagement truly helps us bring more untold stories to light. Thanks for watching.